The Power of Love. My first guest gave us some of the biggest songs of the 80s, and now he's bringing his hits to Broadway with the new musical, The Heart of Rock and Roll. Give it up for Huey Lewis.
Give it to you.
Have a seat. Oh my goodness, Huey, it's so good to see you. Okay, this is your hearing device right here.
Exactly. I'm going to turn my little device on so I can hear you better.
Okay, I love this. Okay, so now can you hear me? You can hear me better?
No.
Oh.
Yes, I
You scared me.
can. I'm sorry. I was being silly.
Okay, so you can hear me now, Huey.
I gotta tune it correctly. There we go.
Okay, now that you can hear me, because earlier this week, I talked about how the Golden Bachelor, he made hearing aids sexy.
Right.
So now, looking at, as I watch you putting the device on and putting the volume on, I get a little excited. That makes me excited.
I see why. That looks sexy to me.
It looks very sexy, because I don't know what else this device does. I like this device right here. So, Huey, how does it feel to be like a hearing loss sex symbol?
Well, and I never really thought of myself as such, but yeah, let's go with that. Fun.
That sounds like fun. That's something I would put on, like you could put on your Bumble profile, like one of your dating profiles. I would go for that.
That's it. And I think on the Golden Bachelor, didn't the Bachelorette have a cochlear implant?
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
So see, so you're right in the right company.
Yeah, and I could be headed for a cochlear implant soon, so we'll see.
Okay, well, you call me when you got the cochlear implant in. I want you to call me.
That's double sexy.
That's a double sexy. I want to be the first one that you call when you put this. As soon as you get in, call, turn up the volume and get Sherri. All right? Now, I know that you were diagnosed with Meniere's disease back in, I believe it was 2018. How did that transform your life?
Well, I can't hear music anymore, and I can't perform or play music. So it was a very dismal 6 months. It was devastating I spent most of my time in bed. I tried all kinds of protocols, including diet change and chiropractic and acupuncture and cranial massage. And nothing seemed to work. But after a while, you just got to get on with things and remind yourself that a lot of people are worse off. So here I am.
And we're so thankful that you came back to us, because you've created so many hits that are like just the memories of what we've went through in the 80s. And I love it that you created a musical from your hits, and the musical is called The Heart of Rock and Roll. What does this mean to you?
Well, it's been a salvation for me, really.
Yeah.
It's given me something to be, stay creative, stay busy, and forget my lousy hearing. So, it's really been a gift. And now that it's up on Broadway, it's just super exciting.
This is so exciting. Can you tell us what the show is about?
Sure. It follows our lead guy is a rock and roller who can't really make it, and so he's got a day job, and so he quits the music business to pursue his day job at a corrugated company. He falls in love with the boss's daughter, and they have a relationship, and he's on the rise. But simultaneously, his old band gets the record contract and the break they've always wanted. And now they want him to be the lead singer, because he was, so he agrees. And then that's the first act. In the second act, he tries to do both of those things, and it gets very squirrely. And I won't tell you the ending, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it sounds like he's got a hard choice to make as we're going along in the musical, yeah?
What's that now?
He's got to make hard choices, right?
That's exactly.
In this musical.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, now, and I'm very excited about this, because it's going to be your soundtrack in the musical. The other musical that is out on Broadway now is Back to the Future. And this is on Broadway. And you wrote The Power of Love for Back to the Future. And I think it was almost 40 years ago. You wrote The Power of Love, starring Michael J. Fox in here. So Michael J. Fox and you, did you guys become friends?
We have, actually, yeah. He's a great guy. Interestingly enough, he's very funny.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, he's very, very funny.
Yeah.
Super smart and super gracious, and become a good friend.
Yes, and so just even being friends, I know that, you know, my friendships, they mean so much to me. How much does this friendship mean to you, you and Michael J. Fox?
A lot. I mean, so much to be learned from him, how he handles his plight with such grace, you know. And,
yes.
And it's a lesson for me, too, with my hearing, because it's important to realize how I'm still a lucky guy.
Absolutely.
I still have lots of things to be thankful for, and Michael helps me remember that.
Oh, my gosh. You know, coming up, I think I read somewhere that your dad finally realized that you had made it when you introduced him to Tina Turner. Is that true?
It is true, actually. We did a few nights at the Worcester Centrum. This was years ago,
Yeah.
but and I brought my father out to see the show, and Tina was in the crowd because she was playing the very next night.
Right.
So she came backstage and she complimented me and was so sweet to me. And my dad, who had no idea who Tina Turner was, but just said, "Who is that gorgeous woman? And why is she being so nice to my son?" and that did it. That did it. He was duly impressed.
After you told him it was Tina Turner?
He figured out who she was, you know, immediately after she left.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I know my father would be that way, too, if I told him it was Tina Turner talking to me. He'd be the same way.
Exactly.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
You know, you got this Netflix it's a Netflix documentary, and it's called The Greatest Night in Pop.
That's right.
You got legends in there. Let me tell you some of the legends that are in there. Tina Turner, Lionel Richie, yep. Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, Bob...
mention somebody we can recognize.
No, I know. Some of these, that guy named Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, and so many more. They came together. You all came together to record We Are the World. I remember that. When you recorded this, did it feel like any kind of dream? Was it surreal?
It was. I mean, imagine, first of all, I was probably 31, 32, something like that.
Yeah.
And I knew then that this was the career event of my life.
Yeah.
And now, 39 years later, it still is.
I remember... It's so funny. I'm sitting back thinking about We Are the World, and I remember right where I was when I first heard it. So do you remember where you were, what was happening when you first heard the song?
I do, actually. It's kind of interesting. At my previous birthday, or maybe Christmas, just before that, I got a gift of a transistor radio that goes in your shower.
Yeah.
Remember that for a minute?
Hang up on the shower. Yeah.
And you hang them up, they stick on the shower, and you can listen. So I had just got it. I plugged it in the. I was taking a shower, and the first time I heard it came on that radio.
We Are the World came on right in the shower. Did you even soap off after that? Oh my gosh. That is so crazy. And it's so funny because as I remember We Are the World, your voice was so distinctive in the song. I will never forget your voice. You sang a lot in We Are the World. Were you supposed to do all of the parts that you did?
No, I was supposed to do nothing, but
really?
Prince didn't show up. and I got Prince's line.
So you got all of Prince's lines?
Well, I got Prince's line, and then Quincy suggested we do the last line of the bridge with in harmony with Kim and Cindy.
Oh wow! Well, thank God Prince didn't show up for that because you sounded amazing.
Yeah, well.
On We Are the World. Y'all, Huey is sticking around because later in the show we're gonna have a special performance from the Heart of Rock and Roll.
We're gonna have a good time.